What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how are you today, buddy?
I am tired, but I have my Celsius, and I am ready to talk some wrestling.
What flavor?
This is the wild berry. Kind of
Respect.
not the best one, but it's the last one we had, so I took it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. As always, welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. If you are new to our channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. As always, hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. You want to hear the official? Number to where we're at as far as
you act like I didn't check that we are 17 people away. You act like I didn't check.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers or anything like that. I'm just super excited about it. We've gotten a few more since then. So, to everybody that has followed us on this journey on almost the last year, we greatly appreciate it. Again, if you know even one person that would like what we're doing on this channel, send them to our podcast. It's not that hard. It takes 2 seconds, couple of taps, and then we're growing our community the way that we want to. And
if you know anybody that loves Big Gold as much as I do, tell them about the podcast, and I will follow them back personally.
If you know anybody that loves the Bengals as much as I do, have them follow us, and we'll get back to them.
Who cares? I will follow them back.
It's kind of in the name, all right? You tell that to Sam Hubbard.
If Sam Hubbard follows us, fine. I will follow back. Shout out, Sam Hubbard.
One day, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's another day. It's Wednesday, so as always what that means. We're going to review NXT. We are not going to go into every match result, but there are a few things that we want to, just highlight here and just have some fun with. First things first, Fallon Henley got a major win over Tiffany Stratton last night. Did you see that coming?
No, I would say no. But, I like the story that they're telling. It is a good feud for Tiffany to kind of sink her teeth into as not being the main attraction. Like, let's see how she does when she's not the main focus of a program. So I think it's a little bit of a test for her. And for Fallon Henley, like they have to start building new stars because I think we're going to see a little bit of a mass exodus of NXT talent over the next couple months, and they need the next, that next crop to step up. And this is how you do it. You get Fallon Henley a big win over an established star, as I don't want to say controversial as it was, but it's a win. It's a win on TV. They saw it. Everybody now has seen it. It is in the record books. Yes, we had the follow up with Tiffany in the back, and that leads me to believe that this feud will continue. And does this go to a PLE? Probably, maybe. I think.
And that was what I was going to ask you is do you think, I personally think that if they wanted to, they could get this to stand and deliver, but I would say worst case scenario, Vengeance Day.
I would say Vengeance Day. I would say Vengeance Day because I don't know if Tiffany will be on the roster by Stand and Deliver.
See, that's what and I feel like that's something that we kind of have to look at now. It used to be very easy to pinpoint when these call-ups were going to happen, after WrestleMania or after a SummerSlam. But now, they're happening just about any time. Dragon Lee was on the NXT roster for maybe 2-3 months, if that, before making the move to SmackDown. And that's a credit to how incredibly talented he is. And with Tiffany Stratton, she's another one of those talents that has had it since the beginning. That it's just like it does feel like anything that she's not doing involving a women's championship picture is kind of overkill or just not something that's worthy of use of her position on the card there. But now seeing how Fallon Henley broke out in the Iron Survivor Challenge and having those moments, we're seeing that with Josh Briggs as well. He gets the challenge for the Heritage Cup next week. I think that, I agree with you. We're starting to see that transition into this next wave of what talent's going to be. And it's always interesting to see here. And I think I'm more just hoping that it's not going to be a mass, I'm going to take everything for the main roster and we've got to rebuild again, because NXT is now starting to feel like that black and gold that we were used to seeing, about 9-10 years ago.
Yeah, the third brand is kind of what they want, right?
Yeah.
And I think Fallon Henley could be, that almost relatable blue-collar worker that, people get into. I like the stipulation of, hey, if I win, you're my servant. I would expect the next week it's, hey, if I win, you're my servant. And I think that could be a lot of fun with if Tiffany is Fallon Henley serving
working in the bar. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I think that would be some fun skits, and you would really get some stuff out of Tiffany again to test her and see, okay, what exactly do we have? We know she can main event, but can she do kind of the smaller things, or can she do kind of the sillier things to kind of completely round her out as a competitor?
Yeah, I mean, whether we like it or not, there's always going to be some element of humor in wrestling storylines, especially once you get to the main roster. I mean, look at what we have seen with the Judgment Day involving R-Truth. I mean, If you thought that, you never know when that's going to be injected. The same thing with Sami in the Bloodline. You have to be ready to be able
Jimmy Uso in the Bloodline. I mean,
most unserious man in WWE right now.
Yeah, I mean, and with the most serious man, that's another one where it's like, yes, that's it. He is rounding himself out as a competitor. Obviously, I don't think he is in the same pecking order as a Tiffany Stratton, but that's something that he can do, and that was something that I think was said on yesterday's show. Is like, if they give you something, do it 100%, so you prove that, hey, I will do whatever you need me to, and they will reward you. So
yes,
we'll see what happens.
Look at what R-Truth has been able to do.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah, I don't think that we would have thought 20 years ago that Kate Quick was a Hall of Famer. Absolutely not. But then, he comes back. He's learned a couple of new holes. Put some championships on his resume, and here he is. I was watching a video today of just kind of the top 10 moments of R-Truth just getting people to break. I forgot about the mixed match challenge that he and Carmelo won, and they got a reward and anywhere they wanted to go, and they chose company headquarters. Like, just little things like that,
My favorite one was the one with Brock and Heyman for the Rumble. That was my favorite one because Brock was like, "What the hell's happening?" Like that one was that. I loved that one.
Yeah, for sure. So WWE, you need a funny bone. That much is for sure, and it's time to see what Tiffany Stratton's got. I think that again, these could be some fun pre-tapes with her and Fallon.
Yeah. Speaking of funny bone, we had a injury angle last night. What do you think? Because I have my thoughts. I want to get your thoughts.
So, and it's funny because I had forgotten, and that's the thing about when WWE tapes stuff, I had forgotten that this was a whole thing last week. And it wasn't until, because even as Ridge is coming in through the crowd, he's only wearing all black. I had no idea who the hell it was until the camera actually focused on him. And then it was like, oh, that's right. We've got this going on. So it's like, okay, let me just kind of sit down and take a beat here. I think the move back to NXT is a positive one. Sheamus is going to be out for the foreseeable future. And let's be honest, everybody wants Butch to become Pete Dunne again. Pete Dunne doesn't need anybody. And if they decide that they're going to pair him with somebody, that should be Tyler Bate. And, should they decide to do that down the line. But let's reevaluate singles Pete Dunne on the main roster. And this is a good chance for Ridge to go back. He's had the exposure to the main roster, which I think is a benefit because it's at this point kind of a big fish in a smaller pond. So let's just kind of refine some things that you need working on. It's no secret that he's injured a couple of guys. Those are just the facts. And we're still waiting for a Big E return and things like that. I think the fact that they used his injury history as part of it, I think I need to wait and see how he responds next week. I hated it because
they're trying too much to blur the lines. You have somebody with a history of injuring people, and same thing. You can say the same thing about Seth Rollins, right? Wrestling is not ballet. People get hurt all the time. Like Asuka and Charlotte just had a match where Charlotte got hurt. Like, it happens, and that's just what part of this business is. But this was just not good because what is the goal of a wrestling match?
To win, pin, or submit your opponent?
To do everything you can to win the match. Technically, Ridge won. They're blurring the lines of kayfabe where it's like, oh, this is real. This is not staged. I don't like those. I don't like that when they did it with Shawn back in the day. I don't like it.
How'd you know I was gonna go there?
Because I know you. You've left your Twitter on there for a long time. I hope people follow you.
Thank you. I forgot about that.
And No, you didn't.
I did actually forget about that. All right, don't.
Like I didn't like it. I don't like it for Ridge because it makes Ridge look almost like, I don't want to say weak, but it makes him look like he's going to be so cautious in every other match, and now I just have the feeling he's going to go on some kind of losing streak because he's too cautious in his matches now. I get what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because I think this is further layered. I think, the match with Trick is in 2 weeks.
Yes.
So Ilja is going into that match compromised.
With Melo angling for a triple threat.
Which I don't know will happen. But I think I said it a while ago, I think Trick's going to win. And now I think it's damn near a lock Trick's going to win because Ilja is coming in compromised. So
that's a bold prediction there, bud.
Because Ilja is not going to sit out or give
know.
up the title or anything like that. So he's going to go in compromised. Maybe it's a Carmelo that helps Trick cheat to win. I don't know, but I think Trick's damn near a lock to win. If it stays 1-on-1, if Melo is added, then I think maybe Melo gets that win. But
yeah,
I have the feeling Trick's going to win now. Okay. But moving back to Ridge, it's just, what does this do for his character? Like, what does this do for him?
That's why I need to see what happens next week. Because we already had the internet damn near have a meltdown because all we saw was a photograph of Ilja on a stretcher. Last night. I mean, I understand that, but at least that was after this. I mean, you can tell that is a worked injury that they were attempting to do in that moment. We didn't have any of that last week before the pitchforks came out. Knock that off, seriously. So that's why I need to see kind of how he responds next week. My big concern is I don't know what the end game looks like here. If you run this injury-prone nest, that would be the only concern that I have. Big concern, I know that. But, I mean, I deal in facts all day. I've only got one piece of information to use right now to try to come to a conclusion as to how this story might go, and I can't do it yet because I need to see how next week looks.
The follow-up better be good. That's all I'll say.
Has to be. I mean,
because I just don't know what this does for Ridge. Like, what is making him a character that hurts people? What is that going to do for anybody? I don't think it. Like, they're kind of leaning into it with Nia and Becky, but
I mean, you almost have to there. I think these are two very different situations here.
Because I agree.
We're looking at. I mean, Big E has not come back since.
I don't know if Big E's ever coming back.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then it was that Elton Prince that had the shoulder.
It was Elton Prince.
Yeah,
he had the issue with Gargano.
Yep.
I mean, Ridge got hurt in NXT.
It was his ankle. Yeah, the ladder match. Yeah.
I mean, just destroyed his leg. Yep. So, like this, I just didn't like it. I don't know if it's in poor taste, but
I would say that no.
I just it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's still too early to tell whether we will, see a sympathetic character come out of this, or a slow descent into just
judging by the reactions online. There was no way you were going to get any sympathy for this guy. There's no way because you have already had real life circumstances. There's no way.
Which, I mean, I guess, it plays into being a heel, and if Ridge is okay, and it's just like we talked about with R-Truth, even, we want to see if people know how to have humor, okay? Now it's, okay, can you lean into real-life controversy and take that art and imitate life with it? This is This is the other side of that same coin here. And I'm going to wait and see. I mean, that's what I always do when it comes to things like this. I'm not going to go screaming that it's in poor taste yet because this is not the first time that an injury angle has been run. It's not going to be the last. It just is what it is.
If this, again, I don't want to say it's in poor taste because of the real life circumstances, but this is not the worst thing they've done by far. So
316 says, I just broke your neck.
No, not even that. I was thinking more Katie Vick, but
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Or anything from that era, or anything from the Attitude Era, or pick an old school Terry.
Even Vince has
anything.
been in an injury angle a couple of times.
They blew up his limo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, we like to say we'll wait and see. I agree with your statement though about stop doing that online. Stop going after him.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have all the facts. You didn't know what happened. It's an injury angle. So you didn't have all the facts. Stop going after anybody. Like, you like watching these guys wrestle on TV, keep it at that. If you have anything negative to say, think before you type.
Yeah. Or write it in a journal and burn it later. I mean, get your feelings out. Fine.
Or type it out and then backspace. I do that all the time. Type it out, backspace.
See, I get too scared that I'll accidentally hit send, so I just scream it into the void.
Yeah, I just type it to you, usually backspace. So.
I deserve that after yesterday. That was
We're not talking about that.
No, we're not for that. We're not going to talk about.
Somebody saw the clip.
Just
laugh now, buddy.
That's fine. It's
laugh
fine.
Now. You'll be there one day. Don't worry.
Today's not that day though. So
Yeah,
it's not. NXT Breakout Tournament continues. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, go ahead.
No, what you got? What you got?
I was gonna ask you your thoughts on Nikita Lyons.
As far as
her return and as far as where she is in the pecking order.
Upper mid card, not quite main event scene yet. I need to see her run through
solid mid card.
I need to see her run through a few more people first. I mean, Tatum Pax, I liked this match just because we're still trying to figure out what the hell is going on between Tatum and Lyra Valkyria. So because Tatum got involved in that match the other night, it made sense to do this. I could see her as an NXT Women's Champion. I mean, I don't think she's getting called up in 2024. That's for sure. But I wouldn't. I mean, there's the size power advantage. I don't know. I see it happen. I see her being NXT Women's Champion. That's just me.
I'm a little hesitant right now because I don't think the work is there yet, and I think when you look at that women's roster, there's a lot of talent on there, and I think she is way more gimmick oriented than in ring oriented. So we'll see. It's another depth piece that they need. Again, when we're talking about the exits that is going to happen, that is someone that will fill a role and need to step up. And hey, they have invested a lot into her, so they obviously see something.
Yeah, and you have to think she's not necessarily going to challenge Lyra right away. She's still got to get her hands on Blair Davenport.
Yep.
And also congratulations to Blair Davenport and Chase Hughes, Riley Osborne on announcing their engagement. But yeah, I mean, and I think that's perfect because we don't. I think you and I both agree we don't necessarily see Blair as ready for a call up just yet. No. But great program with Lyra. She could have a solid program with Nikita. And then don't forget, Sol Ruka is going to be back sooner than later. So she's going to have a crazy awesome 2024. So I would say let's get those programs out of the way and see if we can build a little confidence in all of them coming back from injury. That's why I'm not going to freak out about Nikita yet and where her place is on the card because she missed a year. And we have seen the evolution of this roster since she's been gone. So she is still trying to figure out where she fits back into the fold. But she's got an undeniable look, an undeniable charisma. I mean, the pieces are there. It's just a matter of putting them together and making sure that they work together smoothly.
Yeah, that's what I was more worried about. Is when she left, it was still 2.0.
Yeah,
so
you're right. Yeah,
and it is obviously adjusted. While they still have some of that, weird high school stuff going on. Cora Jade stealing somebody's locker, but
Chase, you shooting dice with OTM.
That story, it's almost too ridiculous now for me to hate. That's where I'm at this point.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous that I'm all right, I'm in.
Duke Hudson with the hood up, just
that's what I'm saying. I'm all right, you got me. It's so over the top that I'm into it.
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about Lexis King. Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean,
Your second favorite wrestler. I'd CM Punk.
he's Cincinnati's. Would you stop it?
Oh man, I forgot he is Cincinnati's own. Oh
Yeah,
of course you love him.
The son of Norwood's favorite son. Yes. Is that a problem?
I didn't say anything.
Good. Keep it that way. No. So this, I mean, I still think it's odd that he's in this tournament in the first place, just because he just on paper above everybody else, because everybody else has been on level up, and that they're still kind of working their way from that up to NXT. And at least while, yes, he was not a major name, MLW, AEW, son of a legend, like there's a clear discrepancy as far as the other names in this program here. So
Guess
it
what,
is what
though?
it is. Yes,
we're talking about him.
Yeah, we are.
I think that's the goal. Is he is this really slimy shit heel, and everybody's talking about him because everybody hates his beard, everybody hates his hair, everybody hates his look,
pointy.
Everybody hates his talk. Like, but isn't that what they want you to do?
He's like if Bret Michaels were a wrestler in 2023.
How dare you?
I said what I said.
How dare you? How dare you?
Whatever.
One last thing before we get to AEW real quick.
Yes.
When's William Regal going to be on TV to lead his son? Please be soon. It's been a year, right?
I feel like we got like another month left. Like we're almost there. We're almost there.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. I mean, I really like that group. I mean, I
don't.
That's just me. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm
ready for the Charlie Dempsey single run with William Regal as his manager. Oh, I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait. Because Regal on TV is good.
Great.
Yes. And pairing him with his son, he will be so into that.
Yes. Yes, he will.
And dude, he's going to be like one of the best North American champions ever. Like just from
some confidence right there. I like it.
From a technical standpoint and just putting on fantastic matches, he's going to be fantastic. Like, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. AEW, go.
If you couldn't tell, he's really excited about William Regal coming back to TV to manage his son, Charlie Dempsey.
You know why? Because we saw William Regal live at AEW with MJF. Yeah. Do you remember that? You remember that promo? And it was awesome.
It really was.
William Regal in wrestling is so good, and we
don't deserve
him for granted so much. Like when he was NXT commissioner or GM or whatever the hell he was, like it was so good.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be on TV. That's all I'm going to say.
Here. All right, moving on to Dynamite. Quick little preview. Here are the matches that we've got lined up. We have got Jon Moxley versus Jay White Continental Classic. Jon Moxley has already booked his spot in the semifinals. Jay White can catch up and at least keep himself mathematically alive. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be a three-way tie, right?
No.
So I think if Jay White wins tonight, and then if Swerve wins, it's a three-way tie between Moxley, Jay, and Swerve.
That would be correct.
So what do they do there?
Don't know yet. If Roosh beats Swerve tonight, then three-way tie between Jay White, Swerve, and Roosh if Moxley wins. And then we've got Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal, Battle of the Zeros. One of them can get 3 points, can spoil the party for somebody else. You still think that Jay Lethal deserves better, even though you thought that this was totally fine 2 weeks ago?
I liked the video. Yes, I did. I like the little video that I sent you and that they had backstage. Like that's a real moment between those two that have been working together for a decade and a half now. Like that was a good real moment. And hey, Jay Lethal can be a hell of a babyface. That's all I'm saying.
So can Mark Briscoe. Now we've got what's that?
Well, he is a babyface.
I know. I'm just saying, like a hell of a singles. Like just wait for 2024. Give him some real proper steam under him. Like look, I'm not doing this. I'm not.
Move on.
You're still mad about yesterday. I get it. Now, we've got a number one contenders match for the Women's World Championship. Saraya finally coming back, taking on Riho. Is it time for Tony Saraya, World's End? Let's, just close that story off in 2023.
I guess. She just shows up out of nowhere, gets a title shot. I guess, whatever.
Because that's how they do things.
That's fine.
Yeah. Roderick Strong and Commander set up after last week on Collision. Roddy has now ditched the wheelchair. Good for him. Commander, another man that Gravity forgot. Should be a fun match.
Yeah, like Roddy on TV is fun. He's a great wrestler.
For sure. We will also hear from MJF, Samoa Joe, as well as Chris Jericho. In light of everything going on with Kenny Omega, we'll probably figure out what's going to happen with the tag team title opportunity at World's End. Should be a fun night.
Jericho's going to get a new partner.
Probably, and fine, whatever.
Who? If you could pick anybody, who would it be? Seriously, like if you could, if you looked at the roster right now, who would you pick for him? Because I have an idea. Today. It's not good podcasting. Again, if you're silent, it's not good podcasting.
Well, you're vamping, so I appreciate it.
I am vamping. Here's my idea. What you think? Do you know what happened?
I don't know.
No. Do you know what happened a little over a year ago?
Nope.
Action Andretti beat Chris Jericho.
Yeah, but they're a little busy in the trios division.
Nothing happened. Guess what? Plans change. Plans change.
Sure.
This would be another great way to elevate Andretti.
If you say so. I don't necessarily think so.
What else are you going to do? Like, who else are you going to
it's more... I'm not thinking him either, but it's more of the fact that, like you said, it's been a year. There was next to no follow-up with that. So it's like, okay, so, great match, huge moment, everybody goes banana, and then
but now it could come full circle.
If you say so, whatever.
I'd
rather see them go for the trios towels. That's all. Any final thoughts on? I don't know.
Where is the Acclaimed?
Oh, they were on Collision.
Were they?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, apparently. Did you get a bet at 10?
Probably.
So, anyway. Any final thoughts today?
No. You're going to go buy a Devil t-shirt on AEWshop.com?
Probably not.
Is that weird that they're selling that merch?
I mean, shirt's a shirt. Make that money.
I think that's weird.
No.
It's a weird angle. Whatever.
We'll see
I did go down a Reddit thread.
Okay.
Where they said it would absolutely blow everybody's mind if the Devil turned out to be Shane McMahon.
Nope. All right, that's where you lose me. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. No, it wouldn't. Hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe. There's no way it's gonna happen. But yeah, again, if you know one person who loves this podcast, just share that link. It's really not that hard. For the podcast dad himself, I am Mr. Cincinnati. This has been another episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.